Welcome to this brief overview of the Lightseekers trading card game. It's a game that's deceptively simple, with a wealth of depth and complexity to discover for yourself. Take on the role of a powerful hero, collect winning action cards and devastating combos, then defeat your opponents and reign victorious. There are 6 orders in the game: Tech, Storm, Dread, Mountain, Astral, and Nature, each of which contains 3 elements. Each element has a unique set of traits and quirks that set them apart from one another. A Lightseekers deck is made up of 36 cards, 1 hero, 30 action cards, and 5 combo cards. There can be up to 3 copies of a single action card within a deck, but combos must all be unique. Our hero card gives us our elements, which determine what cards we can play. It also shows our starting health and our hero trait. Action cards are broken down into attack cards, defend cards, buff cards, and item cards. Attack cards are used against other players and are usually offensive. Defend cards are played on ourselves and will usually provide a beneficial effect. Attack and defend cards are activated immediately once brought into play and move to the discard pile once their effect is complete. Buff cards are persistent effects that stay in play for multiple turns. Some buffs have a circle on the corner of the card. This means that the card will stay in play for a set amount of turns. All we care about is the value in the current top left corner. Once a buff with corners is played, the text stated on the card will take effect. An X means that there is no effect this turn. At the start of each turn, rotate the card counterclockwise. This new corner is now in effect until our next turn. Once a buff reaches an empty corner or returns to its original starting position, it is expired, so is moved to the discard pile. Buffs without the circle corners stay in play indefinitely or until removed by a player. Some buffs have clunky corners. These cards do not always rotate at the start of your turn, but instead have special conditions that make them rotate. Referring to the card text will tell you how it works. Most items have an elemental symbol on the belt of the card. Playing it equips the item to your hero, granting us access to that element and all the cards within it. This unlocks the potential to create powerful cross-order decks. Each hero can hold 2 points of items. The point value of an item is shown on the bottom left corner of the card. Combo cards are super powerful moves, which have the potential to turn the tide of a game. At the top of the card will be a series of elemental symbols. This is the combo cost. Unlike action cards, combos require other cards to pay this cost. Combos are paid for by cards we have in our hand that match the elemental symbols of the combo. Combo cards might even pay for other combos. Cards that were used to pay the combo cost are shuffled back into our deck. They are not put into the discard pile. That covers the composition of our Lightseekers deck. Let's look at how the game is played turn by turn. Each turn takes place in phases: the buff phase, action phase, and draw phase. The first thing we do is check our buffs. Rotate any buffs that have a corner. Once they've all rotated, any buff that landed on an empty corner or returned to its starting position is moved to the discard pile. Cards without any corners are persistent effects and stay in play until resolved or removed. Once we've rotated all of our buffs, we resolve their effects in the order they were played. Some effects take place there and then, such as healing and damage. Effects like damage reduction are persistent and stay active through to when we next rotate our buffs. We now move into the action phase. You can take 2 actions within this phase. Playing a card counts as an action, as does activating an ability. We cannot play the same card twice in one turn, nor can we use the same element on 2 cards unless our hero has superior control of that element, as shown on the hero card by a glowing border. We can only activate an ability once per turn, even if we have multiple cards with different active abilities. Playing a combo card uses up all of our actions. We need to decide if we are going to play a combo at the start of our turn, as we can't, for example, play an action card and then play a combo. We declare which combo we intend to play and show the cards we're using to pay for it. Once the combo is played and its effect resolved, we shuffle our cost cards back into our deck. Finally, the draw phase. If you played a combo, we draw a card and that ends our turn. If we didn't play a combo, Unspent actions left over from the action phase will give us card draw. If we didn't take any actions, we draw 2 cards. If we took 1 action, we draw 1. If we took 2 actions, we don't draw at all. And that completes one whole turn of the Lightseekers trading card game. Turns go back and forth until one hero falls to 0 health. In the event of a player running out of cards in their deck and they haven't played a card this turn, they must discard an item, buff, or card from their hand. If they're out of cards to remove, the player loses. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. If you have any other questions or queries, consult our website or contact us on Twitter.